This is the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, episode 44.
I think I was up $5,000 and I just was like, babe, this is it. I mean, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be my new job, you know. Oh, it was incredible. But, you know, the next day I saw it start to tank.
This is the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, where you get to see the realistic side of a trader's journey. Get inspired and stay motivated by everyday normal people who are currently on their journey to trading success. And this is your host. He could live on Thai food if he had to. Clay Trader.
And it's got to be the spicy type of Thai food. Funny story here, and I love to tell it. And this person can't defend themselves, which makes it fantastic. But our producer of the show, IT Nate, as he goes. So let me give some context. We were having a hangout with our group of friends, and we're like, "Hey, do we want to get Thai food?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, that sounds good." So people order, I'll take a medium, I'll take extra hot, I'll take a hot, I'll take an extra hot, I'll take a medium, and then I'll take a no spice and I'll take a no spice. Joy, my probably like 2-year-old daughter at the time, was one of the no spices. The other no spice was our producer, IT Nate. That just speaks for itself. So it's kind of embarrassing for him, I think. But his response would be, "Don't care," which is true, which is why he gets ribbed, because he doesn't care. He makes him an easy target. But Ches, 2 questions for you. First, Ches is our co-host, by the way. I should probably make note of that. But I like to assume that most people listening have been longtime listeners, so I don't need to introduce them. But Ches, 2 questions. 1, do you like Thai food? And 2, where do you sit on the spice scale of it?
Number 1, I do like Thai food. We actually had one right at the first floor of the building we lived at in Chicago, so Kelly and I would go there quite often. And number 2, on the spice scale, I'm probably on the medium side, because their spicy stuff is like face melting hot. But I still like a little bit of spice. And IT Nate, in your defense, it
Don't
would be
defend this
foolish.
guy.
It would be foolish for you to get some food that's spicy and not enjoy it the whole time, just to make Clay shut up. So you're doing just fine. You order it the way you like it. But
No, he got it from the
I
whole
definitely
group,
do
though.
like a little bit of spice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. If some people need to be in the 2-year-old kid category, and I guess that's where IT Nate belongs. So, anyways, we have a great show for you today. We are talking with Chad from the chat room, and he goes by the same name, no alias or anything like that. And he's Ches and I, we make note of that right at the beginning of it. But we actually met him in Chicago, so it's a cool from that perspective. Where this is an interview where we've already hung out with the guy. But yeah, we enjoyed our time with him in Chicago. He definitely had a cool story then, and he's very young into trading. He's making huge strides though, but he's got a great journey and some good pitfalls that people can learn from. And like I said, now he's doing some things that Ches and I point out. I think really show his signs of maturity. So without further ado, let's hop in. Chad, my man, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, for you listeners, I can say my man because Chad is my man, because we've met in person, and my one little kind of, asterisk next to Chad's name is he's from Tampa, Florida, that is, and we had a meetup in Chicago, and this was when it was pretty cold out. I mean, it wasn't like freezing snow on the ground, but it was pretty cold, and some of us were sitting around in the lobby. Oh yeah, Chad, it sounds like he should be here soon. And then he just gives me the FYI, I'll be the guy in shorts. And I'm like, do you know that this is not Florida? When you were in the airplane, you flew north. So first time I met Chad was in Chicago in cold weather, and he's sitting there in shorts. And I think you might have had on a t-shirt. But so point being, the moral of that story is I've met Chad in person. We've hung out in person. So it's kind of I like these kind of interviews now and Ches also has hung out with them. So I kind of like where we're just kind of reminiscing, and it's not quite not that other ones are awkward, but you know what I'm saying, Ches? We've met this guy before.
We've met before. This isn't our first introduction to Chad. So yep, it's we already have some rapport with him. We had a good time in Chicago, so I'm looking forward to this podcast.
In fact, I think I bought you a donut, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's right. I think.
But in my defense about the weather, I mean, it's just now getting cold here in Florida. I mean, I haven't had to wear a jacket until this past week, so.
Well, what is cold? What is it, like 70 degrees?
It's 63 degrees.
Oh, you know what? You and Ches, Ches in Southern California, I don't want to hear it, okay? I'm looking out my window and it's literally snowing right now. I should move my cam so you guys can
We
maybe
got it
see
bad.
it. But
Yeah,
no,
that
you can't.
looks blistery
Yeah,
cold over
no,
there.
thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
I think we're gonna be up to 64 today, so
all right,
yeah,
let's move
I'll
on
be
because
okay.
I'm about to end this podcast right now just because I'm jealous. So, but Chad, thank you for taking some time out and just hanging out with us this afternoon. But let's start with your just opening part of your journey. What got you interested in the market? Kind of where were you in life, and just we'll kind of take it from there.
Okay, well, yeah, it's been now about a year. I guess it was March of 2015. I kind of had some. I needed to. Well, where I was working as a therapist, just working a lot of extra hours, just trying to pay back some student loans, really, and had some extra money come tax time where I needed to cut my tax bill down, and I kind of had to put some money away. So that got me interested in finding a platform to really put some money in a Roth IRA account. And so when I did that, I was just like, well, hey, it's kind of easy to do this. And I decided to open up a cash account. So sorry.
Very cool. Very cool. No, that's what generally
kind of
most
where
people
that's where
kind
it
of
started. Yeah.
yeah, that's where most people kind of end up starting. And
Actually, let me cut in here, Chess, because I think this is so the answer to why trading is so difficult. You said it was just so easy to do. What was so easy to do, and what made it so easy, Chad?
It was so easy to transfer money from my bank account to E-Trade is what was so easy. I mean, I did it first of all, I didn't want to pay a tax attorney to put my money in a Roth IRA. So that's kind of what got me into actually put money into the Roth IRA. And I was like, well, I've always kind of had an interest in the stock market, just just in my mind. I didn't really know how to get into it until that point. And that was just what really got me interested.
But it's fascinating though. Is okay, you got interested, but it's not like you're not saying I got interested and then I had to go get licensed in the state of Florida. So I had to go to because I'm thinking about when I got my realtor's license several years ago. I had to go take 40-hour class, and then I had to go take a test by the state of Michigan in order to get a license to make sure I was paying attention in the class and learn all these different things. I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear you had to go to a class. I didn't hear you had to register. All I heard was it was super easy to transfer money from my bank account into my E-Trade account, and voila, you're a trader.
You're a professional trader now. So that's as simple as it takes. And yeah, you got to love that no barrier to entry, and that's why everybody who kind of starts out here always thinks they're just magically a professional. Yep,
yeah, and by no means am I saying there should be all sorts of regulations. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is the pitfall to trading. Is literally it's that easy, as Chad said. Is hey, whoa. That was easy. All right, I guess I'm a trader. And then all of a sudden, people start getting into it, and then a lot of people, as you've listened or as you've heard for you listeners, doesn't exactly go smooth sailing at first. So cool, man. So you're getting in. Good call, by the way. Why pay a tax attorney when he's just going to tell you to put it into an IRA anyways? So you transfer money into the IRA, and then I'm assuming that kind of sparks your interest in other things. So where did it go from here?
Oh, well, I'm assuming I typed into Google. Obviously, I went into a penny stock first. So I was typing in, hot penny stocks or something in Google. And so I found a pretty good list, which I considered a pretty good list. I don't remember it. I don't remember what it was now, but it just had the top volumes of the day or something, or top movers. And so
I got a question before you even go further here. Why specifically what even a lot of people I know, they hear the word penny stock, but they don't actually know what a penny stock is or a penny stock company is. Did you just look up like high percent? What led you to find that? Because I think a lot of people, especially if you're coming from like I'm supposed to be looking or planning for my retirement, they just think of blue chip stocks, and you're right away you're like I'm looking at penny stocks. So
that's a good point.
Why did you decide that? What drove you to even look at that?
Yeah, how did you even know the term penny stock? I think is what Jeff's asking.
It would either have to be movies. I mean, whether it's Wolf on Wall Street that I had probably seen in the recently, or that's all I really knew about the market. I mean, I knew there was other stocks you could buy, but I was looking for something that obviously you could make money off of quickly. What I assumed quickly, what I thought would be quick, and that's really it. There was no rhyme or reason to anything that I was doing. I mean, I thought there was. I was doing all the research I could on, what I had found on those websites. I would do the research on the top five, see, which one I thought had a good shot at making it as a, to go up in price by
And
really.
how would you determine if you thought something was going to go up in price? Could define
Well,
research at this point in
oh
your
goodness. Well, it was. What was the main one where you post a lot of your videos?
Investor Sub probably?
No, yeah, something like that. It was a chat, like a blog. You could chat with people about the ticker or whatever. I would look on there to see what people were saying about it. Oh goodness, and there were certain people that were always saying one thing or the other. But I actually would. Well, for instance, the stock that I actually went into was THCZ. I'm sure nobody's heard about that one. You did. That's actually how I ended up finding you, because you did a chart on it. But
That one made a big move, I remember.
yeah, I mean, I got in right around the time of that big move. So I was doing everything from calling stores that had the drink to ask them how they how they tasted. I wanted to order some, but I never actually ordered any. But just anything I could to make sense of it. I had my mind fooled to where I thought, these type of markets don't follow the regular market. They're, penny stocks are their own market. They just, I need, as long as I know what they're going to do, I don't have to worry about and understand the market as a whole.
That part is true, though. I mean, there definitely is no correlation between the penny market and the regular market. And I just, for context sake, if Ches and I are laughing at Chad, it's not like we're laughing at him like, you're such an idiot. It's laugh at him because we can both relate to doing stupid things like that. So it's more of a, oh man, I understand type laugh, not
Yeah,
dude, you're such a moron type laugh.
Yeah, I'm actually laughing because I was in the same exact mindset as Chad, in the sense that I don't want to follow, I don't want to have to be at the mercy of the S&P or whatever that. I want, just whatever to trade on its own based on whatever it was. So that's actually what led me to trade penny stocks in the beginning too. So that's kind of interesting. We had the same mindset for that.
Yeah.
And that actually is a big pro. Like, if there is one pro for penny stocks, it doesn't care what the overall market's doing. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. However, there are many, many not pros that heavily outweigh that one pro. So I don't want people to be like, hey, I was listening to this podcast.
Yeah,
and they
many
said,
more cons than pros, that's for
yeah,
sure.
Well said, Chaz. So, all right. So you're, now, did you buy THCZ yet? Or
Yeah,
what
so-
point okay. And was it, I guess I'll let you take it from here.
Well, I went. I think I had. The minimum I could put in with the HRA or the Roth IRA was, I think I put $4,500 in that one, and my cash. So I of course bought.
Wait a minute. So you are using tax or retirement accounts, IRAs, which they're intended for, and you're using these for penny stocks. Am I understanding this correctly?
Well, that was just one of them. I opened a cash account and put more money into that one too, and bought. As much. I maxed out the account with just THCZ. I mean, I bought all that I could. I don't remember how many shares I had. I think I had around, I don't know, 80,000 shares or something like that. But that's where I got my start, buying into that right when
well, tell us how that went, though. I mean, were you buying at top, or were you buying? I mean, how did the whole trade go?
It was amazing. There was about 2 weeks there when it was making the move from 7 cents all the way up to 32 cents is where it ended up topping out. Where I couldn't believe it. I was so successful. I think I only ended up making, I think I was up $5,000, and I just was like, babe, this is it. I mean, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be my new job. Oh, it was incredible. But the next day, I saw it start to tank. It started going down pretty quick. It was all the way down in around 25. Actually, I took profits. I mean, I actually sold all of my shares off and took profits, because I remember I still have a picture of it, where I had a couple of trades I was exiting where I was making, 900, 700, 500. And it was awesome. I was like, this is great profits. But my problem was I went and bought with all of it. I bought right back in, and it continued the next day to go down. And I lost all but everything that I had in. I mean, I didn't lose all my money. I lost every bit of profits. I ended up up about $500 when it was all said and done. But I just realized very quickly that I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, that's
So was that ticker though the first trade you had ever made in that account?
yeah.
So you pretty much found the multi-bagger right away. So
Yeah.
it's good job on you, because we tend to hear kind of conflicting stories from people. Usually they hit it really quickly, very well, like yourself, or they just were like me, where I just couldn't get a winner to save me in the beginning. So you recognize now, you gave back all of that. You knew that you kind of needed to either learn a different strategy or become more educated. So I guess what is Chad's next point of, where's the next place he's going with this trading?
Yeah, I do want to
Well,
quickly, before you answer, well done to you that it only took you one ticker, one trade to be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. It took me a couple, and it took other people quite a few. So that's well done on your part to quickly realize, like you said, after only one trade, that something's not right. So sorry to interrupt, but I
No,
wanted
that's
to give
okay.
you a little props there. So like Jess said, where did it go from here?
I was so incredibly cocky after making all that money. You can't even call it, I wouldn't even call it confidence, because I couldn't, I was like, I was above the world. I was on top of the world. I made so much money so quickly. I literally thought I knew what I was doing. But anyways, so from there, I decided that I was going to learn. Well, I actually saw one of your videos, one of your chart analyses, and from there I started learning about candlesticks. I went to YouTube and I was learning candlesticks, and I realized I needed a little more. I learned everything you could learn about candlesticks. That's when I actually contacted Nate about Clay Trader University and bought my first course.
What was the first course you bought?
I think it was robotic trading.
So you decided you didn't want to go into the whole thing?
No, I'm not.
You didn't trust me?
It's not that.
You didn't trust me, little scumbag?
I'm very skeptical about everything. On the
Why
internet.
don't you trust some random dude on the internet that does YouTube videos and a podcast? There's nothing shady about that at all. Why would you be
No,
skeptical?
nothing.
I mean, Chaz, that's perfectly
worry,
normal,
Clay.
right?
Yeah, don't worry, Clay. I get messages all the time in our live chat from complete strangers who want my opinion on a stock ticker when they have no idea. I could be somebody on the other side of the country who's never looked at a chart before in my life and works in like a
That's so
pharmacy or something. So, but yeah, they're willing to ask me what to do with their account with $20,000 on the line. So yeah, that never happens at all for us.
I think I sent an email to you, Clay, when I was first starting out, and I asked you something pretty silly. I don't remember what it was now, but I'm pretty sure you set me straight at the first time I ever talked to you, basically pointing me in the direction of education. And I don't think I was I didn't ever ask advice on a stock. It was something about your class.
Yeah, you've never. I remember the people that are like, should I buy more or should I hold? Do I want to buy this? I'm like, oh, here we go. But so
No,
it was never that bad.
Yeah, we don't forget that. Trust me, it sticks in our mind.
I think what I really valued about, I realized after I took robotic trading, I just didn't at that time have the money to spend $2,000 on the university right up front until I ended up doing it on PayPal, which is an awesome option. But I realized really quickly the value in your classes just by how you taught, how you described. It wasn't something for nothing. You weren't trying to give people something for nothing. You were just trying to teach people how to make it on their own, and that's what I wanted. I mean, I could already see that I had to learn for myself what to do and how to do it properly. So
you get through robotic trading, and hopefully, do you understand candlesticks better after getting through robotic trading?
yes.
Okay, great. So now you understand candlesticks. So I mean, where did things go from here?
I tried to coerce Nate into giving me the university for the regular price and discounting me for the courses I'd spent, because I think I bought robotic trading and level 2s.
It was a good effort on your part. You got to at least
it's always
ask.
worth asking. Yep.
Yeah. I think I bought 3 courses. I bought robotic trading, level 2s, and then RVR. And then I just realized I just needed the whole university because I wanted to participate in the webinars and the case studies. I mean, just they're priceless. So
you go through the courses now. I'm assuming that you've completely put your trading on hold while you're trying to go through the education, right?
correct.
Now, did you do any practicing either while you're doing the course or afterwards, or did you try to dive back in after you were quote unquote educated?
I stopped trading completely for a while. I went through the universe. I went through all the classes till I felt like I was ready to start trading, and then I started paper trading, and I did that while I was doing the courses. I was starting to paper trade, very unrealistic paper trading, but I was practicing versus using real money at this point while I was going through the rest of the university.
I want to dive into this though. very unrealistic paper trading. What made it
Oh,
unrealistic? What were
I
you
just
doing?
wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time. I'm looking right here at my first, oh, I guess that was 6 weeks of paper trading, and I was killing it because there was no real, it's not real. Like I was trading 1,500 shares, and I was trading by the book and there was no psychology involved because there was no risk involved. So here I am having 1,000 shares. I'm buying at a 200 simple moving average, and it's bouncing right off of it, and I'm making $2,600 in just a couple of minutes. Very unrealistic. I mean, I wouldn't. We're
Now, was
still.
it? Let me ask you this: when you went live trading, were you using 1,000 shares?
No, I
So
thought.
there, and I'm turning this. I want this to be educational. Is that's there's nothing wrong if you want to use a
No,
thousand shares
no.
when you're paper trading. Hey, that's cool. But I hope you better be planning on using 1,000 shares when you get started, or else, like Chad said, it's a waste of time. I mean, you have to trade when you're paper trading. You have to plan on trading what you're trading with. And the best example was Zen Trader from a podcast a long time ago. But he said the first thing that you should do is when you get into, use Thinkorswim as an example, is Ches, or either of you do, what's the amount, what's the default
They
amount they
start
give
you
you?
with $100,000. So
Okay.
brand
Yeah.
new paper trading traders start off with 100K. Yep.
Okay, so if you plan on starting with $100,000 real money, then fine, leave it at that. But if you're going to be starting with $1,000, $5,000, change that to whatever the amount is. And that's, the key thing here that Chad's saying it wasn't realistic is he's trading with this huge size that who's never going to be doing position size. That is, when, that just wasn't going to be the case in reality. So, I mean, and I want to talk more because psychology is always an interesting topic. What was about the psychology? What do you now know wasn't exactly, legitimate in terms of that, perspective?
Well, I mean, we talk about the voices. You say it a lot in the webinars. You talk about the voices that show up just trying to manage trade. But I mean, now, I mean, I can remember when I first started, I probably would have been okay had I not had such a bad first day back after education and everything. I had a pretty bad first day going live because I work hard, work really hard for my money, and I'm a new graduate, so I have a lot of bills. I have a new family. I have a young son, and I'm just young in life, really, and everything's really expensive. So when I'm trading, for me to lose some money is hard. I mean, and voices show up when you have even 100 shares out there on the line of real money. Especially if you're new and you just make a lot of mistakes when you're new. I mean, it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice to just
So
get comfortable.
yeah, so you start real and it didn't go well. I mean, it, was it? I mean, I'm trying to. How do I? Was it the monetary that didn't go well, or did you just feel like you had no idea what you were doing in terms of like managing the trade, or what exactly didn't go well for you? Or was it just everything all of a sudden just went?
Chad, correct me if I'm wrong because I know we spoke about this a little bit, but was it as simple as, you have to develop a comfort with risk? You have to kind of get used to that money being on the line and being okay to be wrong because that was a huge thing for me because losing $50 is never fun for nobody, but at the same time, if I'm risking 50 to make 500, it's a good risk to take. But the thing is, it's very tough in your mind, to recognize that you might lose that money. It's possible because anything can happen in the market. So
That's true.
which one was it?
No, that's true. I think that's a good point. I mean, it was monetary in the sense that, like, if I was to lose, I have a very low, I guess you call it your cushion to be under the pattern day trader rule. So that's what I'm fighting with. That's why I kind of been slow and into my trading now. I'm just taking it really slow because I want to build up my cushion so I'm more comfortable with risking more. And yeah, I think it was more monetary. I don't want to dip under that certain amount. So that's
Yeah,
what it was for me.
so I'm trying to think relative to where we are talking about things right now. Were we compared to when we were sitting down in Dunkin' Donuts in Chicago? Because I remember that's when you shared quite a bit of your story with me. So I mean, were we getting pretty close to the meetup in Chicago, or there's still some space between then?
This is before the meetup in Chicago. Since the meetup in Chicago, since we had that talk and I went down to even lower than 100 shares. I went down
Well,
to the 20.
let's tell people about the talk because it's something that a lot of
I
people
don't,
should probably hear. So,
it just goes to show how important some of the things you teach are, such as grandma numbers. I had in my mind that the lowest amount of shares I could trade was 100, and you were just like, well, why don't you just trade 25 at a time, and be able to build into positions, and and that helped me a lot. That's been huge because I've actually been able to practice my strategy that I like to play, and be more comfortable with just 25 shares. I mean, it's a lot harder to lose a lot of money on 25 shares than 100. It was that it's commissions, everything kind of directs you to have to be one dimensional. And that's kind of what I was. I thought I had to trade 100 shares or,
yeah,
you
no,
know,
exactly. I think sometimes it's really as simple as that. Is you have these preconceived notions that you don't even know where they come from. It's just, oh, 100 is gram, 100's a gram number, so that's probably where it came from. It's like, oh yeah, it's got to be 100 shares. But I mean, I remember, sitting in Dunkin' Donuts with you, and you were just, talking about, yeah, so last time I went live, things didn't go very well, and when I go live again, starting off, I said, listen, start with 25 shares because you're not going to lose that much money on 25 shares because as you've identified, you're just, this is all coming from losing money, which I understand. But so you're like, oh, you can, yeah, I still remember, oh, you can trade less than 100. Yeah, you can trade 10 shares at a time if you want.
Yeah, and that's interesting you say that. That's actually what I've been doing lately because I've been mostly only been able to be trading in the afternoons, and it's for me it's all about practicing what I'm studying because I'm still studying so hard and I'm still learning so much. I'm still not where I need to be. I mean, it's who knows how long it will take. I'm still up for the challenge and I continue to work for it every day. But I've actually went down to 10 shares, so. Yeah, I mean, I had to cut my risk even more. I mean, be honest, just to get my comfort.
The thing is too, yeah, with that comfort being developed, here's the thing that a lot of, I think it's a well-known fact from everybody, even if you're new to trading or, well, maybe it's not known. But most traders do the most damage right when they start because they're trading way too large for, their size. So here's the thing. So even if Chad breaks his rules and just has no discipline and no stop loss, his damage is already so much reduced compared to somebody who's maybe trading that normal 100 size share lot or whatever that we perceive as normal. So he's kind of, proofing himself in case he was to break those rules. And then hopefully if he did break those rules, he can realize that, hey, I need a timeout here and I need to learn discipline. So he's building good habits with small size because you can always scale up. But the thing is you can't, I don't care what your size is. If your habits are horrible and you have no consistency, you're not going to do well in this.
Yeah, I think the one thing I've learned is just from you guys is just to create good habits, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure I'm creating just perfect habits for trading. I mean, because I realize that. I mean, I've been emailing back and forth with Clay before, talking about just little things I've struggled with, little trades, and he gives me words of encouragement, but also keeps me in check. Telling me about the sky is the limit.
Can I share one of those instances with?
Sure.
Okay, so. Well, let me take a step back just to finish up a point here. A lot of people think that when you go from paper trading to real money, like it's got to be the same. Like, okay, with real money, I can financially, do, we'll say 100 shares. But okay, that's great. You're keeping it realistic. You're going and using 100 shares. That's great. But when you go to real money, it doesn't mean you have to start off using 100 shares. Start off smaller. Too many people think it's got to be a totally smooth transition, which includes your share size or contract size if you're doing options or something. But it doesn't have to be like that. As long as now you want to keep it realistic, like we've already discussed. But it doesn't. When you go live, don't think that you have to do it exactly like you were practicing in terms of position size. Start off real small. And Chez, excellent point. I mean, let's say things go terrible. Well, it's not going to be that terrible because you're at such stinking small size that. It really doesn't matter. But to get back to the point here where, Chad was, email exchanges and stuff. What I remember, so Chad, you went live and things were going well.
Pretty
and
good, yeah.
I mean, things are still going well. Like you said, you're just getting busy lately. But, and then all of a sudden he shoots me an email and he's like, hey, so how does after hours trading work? And he's basically wanting to start to trade after hours already. And after hours, if you've never traded it, can get very, very crazy. And I'm like, I don't remember exactly what I said. I was like, look, man, why don't you just first really nail down the normal trading hours, and then you can maybe start to think about, the after hour stuff. So, I mean, Chad, you're a go-getter, which is a good thing. You got to be a go-getter, but as everything in life, there's always trade-offs, and the trade-off for a go-getter is you can just get way far ahead of yourself. So, but I'm assuming you never got into the after hours, right? I mean,
No, I did not.
Okay,
No, I
good.
took your advice. I think it's important to have put people in your life that are going to kind of help regulate you in that way. I mean, that's a very important. I really think that's important. I'm very appreciative to have you just as a mentor in that area, because I mean, I have nobody else. I don't know a single person that trades or has any idea about the market. So it's nice to have some advice from like that, because the internet would tell you just to
Yeah, and that's the thing with our inner circle is Tony. I don't remember what interview number. He was just like, his first impression was, "Wow, these guys they're a bunch of jerks. Like, why are they treating people like this?" But at the end of the day, we're all trying to help each other out. We're all trying to mentor each other with our own experiences, and yeah, there's a lot of tough love that goes on. I mean, we have a great time. Like I said, this conversation was happening, or the overall conversation was happening in Dunkin' Donuts. So I mean, it's to the point where we like each other enough to want to meet up and hang out in person, but trading is not necessarily a business of, oh, let me, hold your hand and sing Kumbaya. I mean, you can definitely be nice and be cordial, which we are, but at sometimes you just got to offer a tough love. So, I mean, if you can handle that type of environment, then I think you would like, the trading room. But if you're somebody that is easily offended or can't stand a little tough love, then, trading in general probably isn't for you. But yeah, so that's the other thing I commend about Chad is because I shoot pretty straight with him. I'm just like, as with anybody. And, he does a good job of taking it in stride, as does Ches. I remember when you were getting started, I think I laid into you a couple of times, didn't I, Ches?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that, just like Chad said, it's so important to have, you get no pleasure out of seeing people fail at traders or develop bad habits. You are just here to you've seen the pitfalls before. You've been doing this for over 10 years. So,
but even we
yeah.
now at this point with the community, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That would
yeah.
include you. Like now
Oh,
you're
yeah.
definitely within the we. Like we as
And
a community, we don't want to see people lose money, but so we got to offer tough love. Yeah.
It's all about the process, and yeah, it is all about tough love. And some people, if you can't take that kind of heat, then you're not, obviously trying hard enough to improve. But there's always a reason why we're dishing out tough love, and it's because we want to see long-term success.
And from our experience, or I should say my experience, if you can't take the tough love, usually the core of that is you don't really want to trade at all in the first place. You just want to gamble, because gambling doesn't take any work, but tough love that points you to actually needing to work hard. Oh, jerks! They're jerks. That's why I'm not gonna listen to them. I'm gonna go off to this community where it's just new high, go, go, go. All that sort of stuff, where it's just filled with a bunch of degenerate.
Load the boat, hop on the train.
Yeah, exactly. Buy the dip, all that sort of crap. So, anyways, we got to just get to episode 50, Ches, where we can rant and rave about this stuff forever.
We obviously have a lot to rant and rave about.
Yeah. All right, so Chad, I guess let's kind of just jump into where you are right now. I mean, you said you scaled back to 10 shares. Is that mainly because of work? Because I know you've been pretty busy with that. Or I mean, I guess fill us in with where you're at currently in your journey.
Well, I'm just not able to find a lot of time to trade right now. I'm getting ready to free up some time at the end of this month. New schedule for my son's going to be starting preschool, so I'll be able to take some time off in the morning, come home. It's going to be nice. I should be able to be home from 9 till noon. So I'm really excited. I'm just trying to stay focused on learning and learning a little more before then. Right now, I'm trying to learn to understand just the overall market. And it seems like it's been a hot topic in the chat room. A lot of people are talking about just the overall market, ticks and market profile, the ES, the SPX. I feel like maybe I'm just hearing it more now because I'm trying to understand it, but it's helping me because I like to play the overextended fade moves. Like you, I think that's kind of your style, and Curtis plays a lot of those too.
Nate Wilson is also Ava, who's been on the
perfect trader. Nate Wilson, yeah.
I hope he listens to this.
But so I think, for me, I've always been having this question in the back of my mind, like I don't understand the overall market, and that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around right now. Just understanding the market moves, what the market's actually doing, related to the ticker that I'm in, and so it's going well. I mean, I feel more confident than ever in when I'm getting ready to enter a trade. It's before now, even after the Chicago trip, I felt pretty confident in moves, but nowhere near like I do now. I mean, it's like here in the last couple of weeks I've found a little bit of a, I don't know, just a light
Well,
bulb's gone off. It's
well, I got to commend you on something, which is a huge step. Now, don't let this go to your head. I don't want to
uh,
see anything change, but and correct me if I'm wrong, Chaz, if you're hearing something different, but I heard him say that he's feeling great. His confidence is super high. Yet, what sort of share size has he been doing? He actually said he cut his share size. He went down to 10. Normally, I'm feeling top of the world. I'm so confident. Time to bump up that share size.
Time to go from 10 to 1,000.
Yeah, but yet all of a sudden he's actually gone down in share size, which really shows your maturity. That you're doing the things right. You've acknowledged that you don't quite have the amount of time. You're still learning. You want to learn more about these kind of contextual things, but yet you are decreasing. So that's actually huge. That stuck. Wow, he's super confident right now, which is good. But yet he's still doing the proper things, which given what you said, you've reduced your share size. So well done. Do you agree, Ches? That's a pretty big sign of maturity there in terms of what people should be doing.
I wish I would have had that maturity when I had started as quick as Chad has had it. So I don't think I've even reached my maturity level until maybe a little bit, last year. So yeah, but that just ties back into it, that you have to focus on the process. And if Chad's feeling good about the process, and just the fact that he can acknowledge the fact that his time is limited now and he's taking steps, not put himself in a huge amount of risk. So I think he's doing it great. He's making changes in his life so that he can be more active in his trading and, really be able to pay attention, because, earlier today I was talking with some people in the inner circle. This requires concentration, a lot of it. Distractions are going to either completely make you lose money, or you're going to miss on trades that you would have made a lot of money on. Today I had to go get something from the door and I missed a huge trade today. So you need concentration. So the fact that Chad realized that he couldn't have all the concentration he needed to, and he's making changes for that, I couldn't agree. He's doing absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I well said. I want to talk more about the losses though here, because and this is a kind of I don't know if it's famous, but the well-known question on the podcast is, so we kind of already discussed when first taking losses, it didn't really go too well because, you were always just so kind of freaking out about cushions and all that sort of stuff. So tell us about kind of the evolution here of your losses now. How do you take losses at this point in time relative to, how it was, when we were first getting started?
Okay, the first day I ever went live, it was looks like August 3rd of 2015, and I tried to short Tesla all day long just because it was a mental block. I had watched news, which I quickly realized you can't do if you're going to be a technical trader. You can, but you got to know how to separate them. And so anyways, I lost all of my cushion down to the, near the pattern day trader rule, plus commissions, because for some reason Thinkorswim wasn't giving me the free commissions at that time. So I was down a lot of money, and that wasn't as bad, but I took the loss pretty rough. I was really down, kind of depressed at what I had just done. I couldn't believe I did it, and that's when I took a long break. Then my second time going live.
That's what it was. And Dunkin' Donuts, you were telling me about that Tesla trade.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's right. So okay, now this is the pieces that fit together. So Tesla was before Chicago meetup. And then Chicago meetup, I remember you were getting ready to go live again.
Before the Chicago meetup too, I chased AQXP the day it went from 7 to 54. I bought around $47 right before it got halted with 100 shares, and it opened back up in the 30s. So that was a hard loss to take real quick. Yeah, I just that one I was sitting in the closet like with my hands between my face, like I couldn't believe that I just chased after I've got it written down here right in front of me.
I think it's safe to say that that's a lesson you won't soon forget.
Right. Yeah. And those hurt, but they were very important. I mean, they've kind of shaped how I trade now, and my risk management. Although I hope soon that it grows, my management for my risk. I hope my confidence grows and I'm able to, put a little bit more on the line. But that's going to come with time. But now when I take a loss, it's nothing. It's just like, okay, well, it broke the resistance, or it broke the support, and I don't want to be in it anymore, or I've maxed my for fade plays, maybe I've maxed my position building out, and I have to either go into loss mitigation or I just cut the trade short. It's just really it's no thinking involved anymore. It's my stop set. If it hits it, I'm out and I'm on to the next one. So
I got a question here, especially because I know a lot of listeners do have day jobs like you. So what's kind of your daily, like, do you have any routines, or I guess what's your strategy for the actual, getting ready for a day? Walk us through that, because a lot of people, like I said, do have jobs. So how exactly do you manage a full-time job and also, get trades in?
Well, this will change, so it'll be good to revisit someday, have me back on. But right now, when I'm able to get off work around 1:30 or 2, and I come home and I open up all my charts, open up light speed, and I just get my chart set to my time frames. I get my 2, 5, 15, and 30-minute setup for whatever ticker I'm going to be looking at. Now I get the market profile pulled up with all those tickers on there, and I just kind of wait for a trade to present itself. There's not too much setup other than that. I don't do any other type of looking into any news or anything. I just wait for the scanner to show something with volume.
And then you just got to, you got a strategy that you like to kind of do, and it works on, tickers that have kind of high volume or are overextended and things like that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're ready to see what the market presents you, and I think it's safe to say that if the market presents you nothing, you'll take no trades for the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to mention. This has taught me a lot of patience. I've gotten so much more patient. Yesterday, I think I had 5 trades. But the day before that, I didn't make a single one because the afternoon just kind of didn't show anything for me. And I think it's very true because, Clay, you mentioned it towards the end of December, how that was a tough month for you because there just wasn't many trades for you. And that is tough, especially it being my first December, because I wasn't making any trades, which says a lot about my patience. But I was starting to get like, man, am I just not a good trader? Can I not find anything?
Yeah. The month of December will screw with you mentally if you've never been through one, because it can be. Now, this year was a little, and I guess this year being 2015, because of the oil thing. I mean, right now we're kind of in historic times in regards to oil. So there's a lot of people that were trading the futures and stuff in oil. So there's been opportunities for those people, but if you're not trading futures and stuff, it's totally normal. But I relate to that because even now I struggle. I'm like, every year I have to give myself to like the normal kind of August and December, because August things are real slow, summer, and then December it's like, okay, Clay, remember, time of year, there's not going to be a lot of trades. Things are going to slow down. It doesn't mean that you're seeing things differently. It's just a function of the market. So I guarantee, Chad, you'll have that same thought next December, but just remember to give yourself the pep talk. Hey, it's December. It's perfectly normal. So I know Ches had another question for you.
I did. So what would you say you think are your current strengths and weaknesses in your trading?
Weaknesses, I would have to say, I kind of am foreseeing.
Or things you still want to work on,
Yeah. I realize
we'll sugarcoat it a little bit here.
Okay. I mean, I know I'm kind of foreseeing this weakness. I'm letting runners run and work for me, letting some shares work for me, because I'm not getting up to certain share sizes. When I'm only in with 10 shares, I'm not able to really let them trade those types of one size trade. I have one lot, really. I can't really sell 7 of those shares. And then
why not?
It's really, well, I mean, I guess I could for the habit. I probably should.
No, honestly, are you working to make money right now, or are you working on habits?
I'm working on habits.
Well, then why can't you sell 7?
See, that's what I'm saying. I guess I could. That's why I'm saying I'm foreseeing this as a weakness. I don't want to cut my trade short.
I think your weakness here is you're under the whole, well, I have to trade 100 shares. Now all of a sudden you're doing, well, because I have 10 shares, I can't scale out or do anything like that. Yeah, the commissions will eat you up, but like I said, they're not going to eat you up to the point of sending it to a cardboard box.
Right.
But it's going to help you develop good habits. So
I would say that's a weakness right now of mine. Strengths, I have a pretty strong passion for it and for just trading in general, and I'm going to continue to get better. That I'd say is my strength.
And I mean, it sounds like do you feel comfortable with the charts and all that stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. With charts, okay. I do.
I don't say, you better say, yeah, I see the question.
Yeah. I mean, definitely.
Yeah. So what did you think about last night, the webinar RD's trade? Did that help kind of inspire you a little bit in terms of letting a winner win for you?
Yeah, actually it did. That was a nice trade. Yeah, I mean it's more it's just a habit. And for me I think it comes down to risk too. I'm trading with a low share size, so I try to take some profits when I can, but that's not what I'm looking for. RD did a very good job of just letting his two option contracts work for him, and he covered his one contract at a very logical place and let the other one just run, and you see what happened. I mean, wow.
Yeah,
Just
I'm gonna.
$60 risk, and he pulled down 560
Yeah,
something.
that was a great trade. It's kind of off topic, but not really. Going back to that 10 shares, this is what I want you to do. So from now on, sell 4 shares at risk mitigation, sell another 3 at another point that you think makes sense on the chart, and then just go into CEO mode with 3. This may sound like Chinese to other people listening, but
Okay.
try that. That way
will.
you're developing the habits of managing with 10 shares. And Ches, you think that sounds pretty
Oh yeah.
logical?
Yeah, definitely, because you can't, you can't get home runs unless you have a little bit to run. So I think that sounds completely logical.
And just listening to your psychology, I think selling 4 at risk mitigation is just going to make you feel better from a mental standpoint, from a psychological standpoint. If you could switch things up and do 3 and then 4, like I said, you sound like me quite a bit. So that's why I always like to just sell some right away, and so I can start to feel better about things. So try 4 at risk mitigation. And can you publicly promise to work on that going forward, so people in the chat room can hold you accountable?
I can.
Okay, there we go. Everybody
promise.
heard it here, so you now have that. And we'll start to wrap things up. But chart wise, what do you think? What are some of your favorite things to look at the chart? You're not one of these guys with 8 million indicators all over the place, are you?
No, it's weird. You at first you have all of them up on your chart when you first take all the courses, but you got to find what works for you and what you're comfortable with and what helps you trade. But I have just for as far as indicators go, I just have the RSI up just to help tell if something's kind of oversold or undersold. But other than that, I have moving averages, 2 moving averages, and the Bollinger Bands up, and that's it. And then I just draw trend lines.
So candles, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, and volume. That's the indicators you have.
Volume, yeah. Volume, very important.
So I have
one of the
5.
more important ones.
Yeah, I have 5 fingers right now, which is 5 indicators, and 2 of those being candlesticks and volume, which don't really count.
Yeah, that don't really count. But yeah, we have people sometimes that we deal with that have like 7 moving averages alone. So you're doing it good. Just keep it simple and find what works. You pretty much nailed that.
Yeah, and I guess there's nothing technically wrong if you want to have 50 different indicators or 8 million, but I don't know. To me and kind of our community and our culture, it's keep it simple, stupid. It doesn't really need to be that complicated. There's no such thing as a holy grail. If you don't believe me, just ask Ches or I, because we've both been on that quest. And were you going to say something?
I've searched around the world for that holy grail for multiple years, and it's cost me many of dollars. And I can assure you that Clay is not lying when he says the sooner you give up the search for that holy grail, the sooner you'll start to look at price action and candlesticks and whatever indicators you want to use, you'll start to actually be able to form more logical trade plans than trying to find something that wins 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't looked at the RSI. Accidentally hasn't been up this week, and I haven't used it. I mean, I've had several trades this week, and I haven't used it, so I can see that kind of fading out. But
that's how it went for me too. I used to have the RSI, and I think it's still on my charts, but I never look down at it or flip to that tab. It just kind of fades away because you get the feel for things in terms of that's clearly overextended. But again, that's Bollinger Bands. That's essentially doing the same thing.
I also stare at level 2s, and I really like time and sales. I watch time and sales quite a bit too. I mean, that and level 2s once I'm in a trade is kind of what I'm watching. So
very cool, very cool. Now, I know you've been waiting this entire time because all of our podcast guests get the great honor of using my time machine. So if you could go back in time to, right when you were starting, that's the time period I'm going to pick here, right when you were starting and decided penny stocks were the way to go, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
Oh, back when I started trading the penny stocks, oh goodness, if I could come back from right now and know what I know now,
Pretty much.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly that.
oh gee, it would just be to just learn education. I know that's what everybody says, but it's so true. You've got to learn, and until you learn, it's just I don't see how it's possible. I mean, I still feel like I'm so far away. I'm not that I'm far away from being a successful trader, but I just have so much I know that I still have to learn that, would help me so much more. And so I want to continue to learn, but just
Well,
education in general.
people say that because it's true. If this was a podcast about doctors and every single doctor told us about, oh, and I killed all these patients because I didn't go to medical school. So
I quote unquote sized up really quick and started doing surgery on people after a week.
yeah, I watched this YouTube video on brain surgery. So I grabbed a butter knife and I did brain surgery and the guy died. And then I read a blog and then, I tried another surgery and the guy
Saw
died.
some YouTube videos.
Yeah. But it wasn't until I actually went to medical school and learned that now I can be a doctor. So if I had a time machine, when I went back, I'd probably tell myself, you know what, I should learn. I should go to medical school. That's why trading is not any different than any other profession. You got to learn how to do it. And if you think that it's a get rich quick type thing, like a lot of certain people out there will try to proclaim it, then sorry, you're failing for it. So Chad, I realize a lot of people say it, but that just kind of confirms that it's true. We've all
It
killed
happened
plenty.
quick for me. I decided.
Yeah,
I
you
need to
killed
get
your first
education
patient
quick,
pretty
but-
quick. It sounds like before you realized, you know what?
But it doesn't always happen that way. I mean, I could have very easily had success and then really got in bad, and lost everything. If I hadn't lost all of the profits that that's after the second trade with my THCZ, who knows? I mean, I may have waited longer to get educated, and it could have been even deeper. So, hopefully, hopefully that helps somebody get educated before they lose money. I mean, have we had anybody on that didn't lose money before they found you, Clay?
I've never talked to anybody
We've had people who have made large amounts of money, but if you make something on an unbiased, if it's just luck, you're going to give it all back. So everybody we've ever had who's made a significant amount of money has always given it back, whether they wanted to or not.
Yeah.
just because
pretty
that's
much.
I mean, it was easy to make money during the dot-com bubble. It was easy to make money in real estate during the real estate bubble. It was easy to make money in the marijuana stock bubble a couple of years ago. But then when those bubbles stop being bubbles and skill comes back into play, like Ches said, that's when people are like, oh wow, that was all luck. How do I know that was all luck? Because I just gave back all my gains and I'm down to nothing. So well said there. Well, we're going to start to wrap things up. We'll definitely have you back, but we're going to move into some fun questions here. So are you ready for these?
I'm ready.
All right. What is your favorite movie?
Moneyball.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one with Brad Pitt and based on a
Yeah.
true story. I like the one. We're all geeks here. I mean, Ches, have you ever seen it?
I have not, but I feel like I've seen it. Or I might have seen it. I don't know. It's just been so long. I don't actually remember it.
Well, if you haven't,
It's
you
just a
definitely
good
check.
story.
It's like kind of options trading. It's all about probabilities and statistics and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
you
Sounds
would
right up
definitely
my
like that.
alley, yeah.
You would definitely like it.
So
Even if
Chad,
you're
what
not
would
a
you say is
baseball
Chad, what would you say is your favorite meal?
This is tough. I have a wife that cooks really well. I'd have to say chicken parmesan.
That does sound good. Mm-hmm. That does sound good. Let's see here. I'm trying to rib you again for wearing those shorts, but I couldn't think of any segue from chicken parmesan to joke about wearing shorts.
I
in
cannot
cold
believe how
weather,
cold
so-
it was in Chicago.
Well, when you got shorts on, you bozo.
It's
do you
just for disclaimer for all of those listening as well. We went in, I don't know, what was it, November or something? And to be fair, it was in the 50s, which is completely
that?
it's not common for
I don't think it
Chicago.
was November. I
It was
think it was like
October.
October.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 50s is not common. Usually we'll have snow on the ground. No, I'm just kidding. It's not always that bad. But yeah, it really wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, but he was being a little Floridian or whatever you people are called down there. So being whatever, I don't like people from Florida. It's always warm for you. You got poisonous snakes and crocodiles though, so
Yeah.
or alligators. So that's true. I guess everything does equal out.
A lot
we're
of
getting
poisonous stuff.
we're getting way off topic here though. What about dessert wise? What do you like to eat after that chicken parmesan?
I'd say anymore. If I'm gonna have dessert, I'd have to go to Cold Stone and get the birthday cake remix.
Ooh, that's
Oof. I
nice
haven't had
going.
that in years. That's a good one.
I might be going to Cold Stone tonight after Star Wars.
So what would you say is your favorite song or band?
Oh man, I like everything besides country, really. I just grew up listening to country music, so it's just not something I like to listen to. But I would say I like to listen to some techno music with no words while I am trading. Keeps me like in a rhythm. I don't know. Keeps my mind going.
Well, I hope it doesn't give you a seizure or anything while you're, you don't have any like strobe lights going while you're doing all this, do you?
Don't listen to him, Chad. I have strobe lights
Right,
and LEDs going on all
right
the
now,
time. One of my
I'm
screens is just a virtualization thing, like I'm at a club or something. So
right
don't
now,
you worry about it.
I'm picturing Chad's trading station as he has a fog machine on the floor. So there's fog rising up behind him. He's got strobe lights going and like just lasers and all sorts of stuff as he trades. Is that a
Don't
pretty accurate depiction of what your trading station looks like, Chad?
So no, my trading station's pretty calm. Other than that, I don't have much around me. Just I actually have a huge TV above me, but so it's kind of exciting. But no, it's calm. I just listen to some crazy music. That's how I studied in college. So techno's just my thing.
And I guess you got your degree, so I feel like the dun, 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 dun in my ear would throw me off. But hey, that's just me.
It's not like intense techno, I guess. It's more.
Whatever.
I don't know.
You're having raves over there as you trade. But what about fun other than raves and fog machines? What do you like to do for fun and hobbies?
I play a lot of golf with my 3-year-old son. He's obsessed with it, so we play a lot of golf. And I play basketball when I can for some exercise. I like to lift weights, be in shape, and yeah, just do a lot of family stuff. I would say I'm a family man.
That's one of the things we definitely bonded over and had common ground other than trading was both of my daughter is about 3, your son is about 3. So we definitely can we can relate to how kids that age act. So I agree. We had the conversation about they're great at this age and that they really are. So Ches, why don't you bring in the cover fire here with the final question?
So, Chad, what 3 words do you believe are associated with successful traders?
Dedication, hard work, and patience.
That was short and to the point, and I don't think it could be any more true than that. So well spoken, sir. And hey, thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon and taking some time out of your day. Was it pretty cool? Would you ever come back if we invited you?
Oh, I have to come back. Yeah, I have to come back. I really think that I hope I can help somebody, just realize.
I guarantee you've helped somebody. There's been a lot of good little nuggets of what you've been through that can help some people out. Now, did you listen to the 2-year anniversary episode?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you ever come back for a round table if we invited you back for something like that?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see what happens. So we'll have to see what the people think about this one, if they like it or not. I'm just kidding. Everybody will find value in this one. It'll be good. It'll be good. So, but again, thank you very much for hanging out. I know Ches and I really do appreciate it. For those of you listening, would like to make a few minor requests. If you're listening to this at claytrader.com, click that share button. Leave us a comment below. We love to hear from people. We read all those comments. So things like that, really do. They do get to us and they help out. If you're listening on iTunes, leave us a rating. And again, little things like that really do go a long way in helping us know that Ches and I aren't wasting our time when we step away from the markets like we do during this, to record these. And even if you listen to this on YouTube, since we post them there, click that like button. That's probably the easiest way to let us know that you're finding value in these. So thank you for listening. We will see you back for next week's episode.
This has been the Stock Trading Reality Podcast. Thanks for taking the time to hang out. To learn more about Clay and the Clay Trader community, including the trading team, premium training, and more, visit claytrader.com.